Hello. So, usual disclaimer, enjoy and learn, but don't practice on anybody, please. Thank you. So, today we've just got a shorter video of just the 1 foot. Now, this gentleman is quite an elderly gentleman, and you might notice that sometimes the foot is shaking a little bit, and that is because this gentleman has Parkinson's disease, which can cause, well, the medication can cause kind of tremors, which is like shaking. So as you can see, these nails are quite long. These are very long for this gentleman who normally comes to me quite frequently, but obviously with current times, and he is quite an elderly gentleman with various health conditions. So obviously he's been trying to keep himself safe, and so has delayed his appointment with us as long as he could. And as a result, these nails are really very long. So you can see a couple of these are really very curvy and quite kind of C-shaped rather than sort of flat nails. Now, this can cause a lot of pinching. We call these nails involuted. So they're not what your traditional ingrowing toenails would look like, but they nevertheless cause a lot of pain and discomfort. So this one has developed a bit of a fungal infection, which is quite new for this gentleman. It's not abnormal for him to get this curvature, this involution at all. This is a long-standing problem which just deteriorates over time, so it becomes more and more curved. And as you can see, it's curving right round, and that also causes kind of dead skin cells and whatnot to get trapped down the side of this nail, but also it develops like a kind of a hard skin as well to try and protect the fleshy skin underneath from being pinched. But then of course that hard skin then kind of adds to the problem by taking up too much room within. So trying to get those nippers down there can be quite uncomfortable, and this is very painful for this gentleman. So I do sometimes use a scalpel blade just to take some of the bulk out without trying to get the bulk of the nippers down. Like I say, you can see little twitches from time to time. With things like Parkinson's, people have limited kind of control over these tremors. With a great deal of concentration and effort, they can stabilise limbs, etc., for short spaces of time, but then every now and then you'll get a bit of a twitch and what have you, which obviously can be a bit of a problem when you've got things like scalpels in very enclosed areas. So little nicks and whatnot do occur, but it is one of the reasons why people come to us, because we are pretty good with these sharp things, even under challenging circumstances such as tremors. So as you can see, I'm removing a great big hunk of kind of dead tissue there, some callus and bits of nail as well. But as you can see, there's this fungal infection which has caused this discoloration, this kind of orange matter. The fungal infection you can pick up all over the place. It's very, very common. But what it does do is it separates the nail from, oh, I've got a small nick just down the side there, but I'm also trying to clear out and just make sure that I can see that I've got what I can clear there, just see what I'm doing basically. So it's just a piece of sterile gauze which I just kind of slide into that cavity that I'm creating there. Now, as I was saying, that fungus kind of lifts the nail from the toe beneath. So although this looks terribly uncomfortable, it's not the nicest thing in the world, but the pain from the nail is really quite something. And you can see already there is quite a hole there, and this gentleman would find a great deal of relief now when he puts his shoes back on after the treatment. But as the fungus has like kind of altered the way that the nail kind of sticks to your toe, I can remove quite a lot of that nail away, and this will mean that this gentleman will stay comfier for much, much longer, because it's this nail that really causes the problem. So although this looks quite brutal, actually this isn't causing him any pain or discomfort whatsoever. So I'm literally taking as much as I can get, and like I say, that means this gentleman can go a lot longer, staying at home, staying safe between appointments. Nice, another big chunk there. It's like you've got a nice clear view now of kind of the degree of where the nail has been pressing into that toe there. So any footwear, any pressure upon that nail at all will have caused a great deal of discomfort and pain for this gentleman. So again, I'm just tidying things up. I'm going to try and remove what I can. And you can see there the discoloration which is caused by the fungus. Now, fungal nail infections, if you've watched some of the other videos, you'll know that you don't actually need to treat a fungal nail infection. Treatments are limited in success. It's usually a very long process. This gentleman, like I say, is a very elderly gentleman who's only got limited mobility down to his feet, which is why he comes to us for his nail care. So kind of adding like a cream or a spray to his feet on a daily basis probably wouldn't be practical for this gentleman. And say it can take a year to 18 months to affect any real change. He doesn't really mind the fact that it's there now, and hopefully he'll be able to come to us reasonably regularly, so that we can just keep it comfortable for him as we did prior to COVID. And this gentleman obviously has had his vaccination now, so fingers crossed it's onwards and upwards for him and ourselves. Prior to COVID, this gentleman, even despite his age, has a very, very active lifestyle, and we would be dancing multiple times a week, keeping him fit and social and that. And so, like many others, he's really missing that at the moment. And he too has noticed that his kind of general physical ability and mobility has deteriorated in the past year, which he does put in part down to not being able to undertake the sort of social activities he was doing. So I've got quite a bit out there now. So there is a tiny little nick, but you can see that big cavity there. It's just a little bit there that's annoying me because he's just kind of sitting proud. I do like things to be just so before I let people go. I filed all the other nails. I didn't well, I did capture on video. I edited it out. Yeah, so all of his nails have been filed and smoothed off so that they're not going to catch on anything. I'm just tidying those last bits up, but yeah, that's a big old cavity there. That's nice and clear. Now, because it has got a small nick in there, and because it does look a little bit angry with all the pressure and everything that it's been undergoing, I'm going to dress it. So I've sprayed it with a antimicrobial, which is in iodine, sorry. It's a dry powder spray that gets right into that cavity, and I'm just putting a dry dressing on. So it's literally just a plaster. So I cut these funky shapes so they wrap around the toe better, and that'll just keep any bugs at bay. Obviously, any problems, and the gentleman will get in touch with me. Now that's that. So, sorry, we didn't include the other foot. So, hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you again. Bye.